Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes upon me, take a look at me now. Just look at me now. Just look at me now. Eyes upon me, take a look at me now.
Now takes on the strike. Side body.
Look at me now.
Chelsea are champions.
Look at me now.
Good evening. The Barclays Women's Super League is back following the international break and the title race is hotting up. What a show we've got in store for you. The Emirates Stadium played host to the North London derby as Arsenal welcomed neighbours Tottenham. Chelsea aim to get back to winning ways following their loss at the hands of Manchester City last time out. They travelled to the King Power to face Leicester City. Manchester City went in search for their 9th consecutive league win. They just had to get past Everton. And bottom of the table, Bristol City needed some vital points against second from bottom, Brighton. Plus, we'll bring you all of the remaining fixtures in the league. And joining me today in the studio is a couple of WSL legends in the form of Anita Asante and Rachel Yankee. Welcome both. But we're going to start the show at the North London derby, where Arsenal wanted revenge over their rivals following their first ever loss against them in the league back in December. Could this be another historic tie for Tottenham? Well, watching on at a sold-out Emirates Stadium was Rachel Brown-Finnis and Robin Cowan.
It's 3 changes from the win over Manchester United for Arsenal. Sabrina D'Angelo and Chloe Lacasse are away on international duty. Manuela Zinsberger starts in goal, and Caitlin Ford, who has scored 7 goals in 7 WSL appearances against Spurs, come in. The other change comes up front, where Alessia Russo returns in place of top scorer Stina Blackstenius. Leah Williamson is fit enough for a place on the bench. Vivian Miedemar, though, is unavailable with a knee problem, which requires surgery. There are 3 alterations to the Spurs team that lost to Aston Villa last time out. Becky Spencer replaces Barbara Butakova in goal. Ashley Neville returns after missing the last 5 games with an ankle injury. Jess Naz, formerly of Arsenal, replaces Beth England. And Grace Clinton's star continues to rise. A goal on debut for the Lionesses, as well as scoring 5 during her loan spell from Manchester United. She has created the most chances for this Spurs team so far in the WSL. That's an error. Palova seizes upon it. Spurs in some last-ditch defending, but it's kept going. Here's Mead. A big block there, out for a corner.
Excellent block positioning from Molly Bartrip there. Absolutely essential. Beth Mead's on fire, we know that. Out of her feet and into phenomenal form following that substantial ACL injury.
He delivers. Oh. Well, that should have been the opening goal, surely. Alessia Russo just bounced away from her at the last.
It's a brilliant ball in, exactly where Steph Catley's wanting to put it. It takes a little nick, just maybe takes it out of the line of sight of Russo.
Ford. Trying to get away from Bizet. Works the space for the cross. First time hit from McCabe. Tottenham will try and break on the counter. That's good play, Bizet. Down the line for Martha Thomas. Flag has stayed down. It's Thomas! Held by Zinsberger at the second attempt.
A tight call down that right-hand side. Martha Thomas cuts back brilliantly. Missed tackle by Arsenal. Good positioning from Zinsberger.
Meanwhile, here comes Spurs with Clinton. Great ball down the middle. It's Naz off the bar.
I think Zinsberger got a touch on that. excellent play from Naz, good timing of her run. You just see here, she's on the shoulder of Wubben-Moy, gets between Cardina and Wubben-Moy, gets in behind, and then doesn't have too many other options other than to shoot. Nearly to devastating effect. Zinsberger turns it onto the bar.
Catley. Neville stretches out a leg. Not the greatest of clearances there from Bizet. Little. Digs it out for Mead. First touch is gorgeous. It's there. Alessia Russo finishes it off. And a mere 4 minutes after the restart, the Gunners fire themselves ahead. Bit of creativity from Beth Mead.
It was wonderful. Look at that pick up from Kim Little. Just here, sees, stretches it, misses out that congested central area, and the touch in field. See the space now. When have we seen that in the first half? Never that space. It's because Beth Mead plays quickly. One touch, slips to find a teammate in the middle, and the easiest of finishes for Alessia Russo.
Mead into Palova, works the space, into Ford. Scoops it towards McCabe. And McCabe down, and Abigail Byrne totally unmoved by that.
I'll second that.
Bit like the gauntlet, wasn't it, in Gladiators, that?
I loved situations like that.
Oh, that's given away by Spencer. And she's made up for her error. Quickly off her line to smother Blackstenius.
Yeah, and that's what Blackstenius will do, is she just hound you endlessly, like that little bump against Becky Spence, a little interception there, read it well.
And there we have it. In a must-win game, Arsenal have done just that. They've been made to work. They were far from at their best. But Alessia Russo, with a goal just after the break, is enough. Arsenal keep themselves in the conversation when it comes to the WSL title race. Full time, 1-0 to the Arsenal.
We know it was going to be important to score the first goal because they're a very resilient side, Tottenham, in their low block, and we learned that the first game around against them. But we talked about in halftime that we needed to keep the belief in our off-the-ball runs, in our passes, and it was really nice to see that that came off.
We knew it was going to be tough, and coming off the back of international break, we knew we had to get to work quickly, and we wanted to come out and put a performance that everyone's proud of, especially here at the Emirates. So, yeah, it was a tough one, but the most important thing is 3 points.
We play against a very good team, and they are starting the game in a very good way, but then we come into this game and create some really good chances, and we defend very well the whole game, except for the goal. And I mean, it's an even game, even if they are a better team with the ball and so on, so still we create those shots and the goal, and I think you can see that we're there to play, we want to play through them, and we have options. So no, we do a good game, but we lose, unfortunately.
Big win for Arsenal. Rachel, Spurs made them work hard for that though, didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely did. I think that they were organised Spurs, and I think for Arsenal, it really wasn't about the performance. It was about getting 3 points and making sure you still stay in that title race.
Yeah, because it's so crucial at this time of the year, isn't it? Anita, let's take a look at that first goal then. Alessia Russo scored it, but the build-up play was something that really caught your eye.
Definitely, I think obviously Arsenal weren't at their fluid best, but when you need a moment of brilliance and class, Kim Little, you know, rises to the occasion, and here nifty footwork to just deliver this ball into the far post area, and that lovely first touch from Beth Mead just to nullify the defender there. She fortunately gets a ricochet off her feet that lands into Russo's path. And again, the time and patience to hold her run, take on that first touch and find Russo, who just comes flying into the box, and what a finish, just to smash it in there and make sure that they get that goal. I thought it was brilliant just to see them find a way to score today.
Nice confidence boost for Russo as well, Rachel.
Yeah, definitely. I think movement from Mead for any winger watching that's fantastic movement. But when you haven't played as many games as possibly you would, you didn't play in the last couple of games, you want a goal. You want a goal at the Emirates. That's a fine way to score.
On Spurs, Jessica Naz looked quite threatening throughout that game, especially in the first half. She started instead of Bethany England. What did you make about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Tottenham, obviously, they're looking at ways to how can they break down, how can they exploit maybe Arsenal weaknesses. I think looking at Jess Naz's pace, obviously the Arsenal back line is not as quick as probably as she is. So I think that's where Tottenham have probably looked at, can we get in behind rather than maybe a Beth England who holds the ball up, and that physical play maybe suited Arsenal a little bit more. But I thought Jess Naz done really well, and the strike that she had, I mean, was only equalled by Zinsberger with the save.
Do you think it worked?
I think you could see glimpses of what Tottenham are building. They dared to be brave. They tried to play out the pressure and the build and be a kind of... And they were threatening in those counter-attacking situations and those transitions. They just lacked a bit of that clinicalness and that prowess in the final third and establishing a bit more control, but definitely positive signs for them.
Let's just quickly take a look at this penalty incident that Arsenal did have. What do you make of this? Because Becky Spencer does look like she catches Katie McCabe's foot.
Yeah, you see this little scoop from Palova into the box here, and Katie McCabe tries to make a challenge for the ball, and there is contact between her and Becky Spencer, but I think as he tries to make a play for the ball, she's just off balance, and she's on one foot, and she tries to, you know, swivel her hips around to make contact with the ball and actually misjudges it. And for me, that isn't a penalty. I think that would be a soft one to give.
OK, well, interesting. Next, we are going to go to Leicester City as they hosted Chelsea, looking to get back to winning ways. Emma Hayes' side lost to Manchester City last time out and haven't lost 2 consecutive matches since 2015. Mark Scott was on hand to see if Chelsea can get back to dominating form.
Willie Kirk makes just one change to the side that won 5-2 against Bristol City last time out. Courtney Nevin comes in for England under-23 forward Shannon O'Brien, who drops out of the squad altogether after picking up an injury on international duty. 3 changes from Emma Hayes to the side that lost to Manchester City. Katerina Macario is included in the Chelsea squad for the first time since she signed from Lyon in July. The club's top scorer Lauren James is out through suspension, and Ashley Lawrence is on international duty with Canada, while Melanie Leupolz drops to the bench. Chankovic, Ritten Conried and Perisset are the ones to come in. On the corner from Rantala, and that's worked out nicely for Tierney. Rantala, and still gets the shot in, and Hampton gets fully behind it. Well, if there was one player that you fancied might pose some problems for Chelsea this evening, it is the Foxes' flying Finn. Emma Hayes was philosophical after that defeat to Manchester City. She's not one to stew over anything. Life's too short for that. Might have something to stew over here, though. Rantala, good hit. And the rebound should have been tucked away by Yuka Momiki. Well, Leicester need to make this period of pressure pay. I think it might have just kissed the post on its way past. Ritten Conried looking to release Guro Reiten. Excellent work from CJ Bott. Well, the covering work of the defence for Leicester thus far has been exemplary. Reiten swings it in. That's not the most ideal clearing header. Green trying to get it further. Clearance in! Chelsea lead! Isn't that just like the champions to somehow find a way through? Natalie Bjorn with the improvised finish, and just when Chelsea looked like they were struggling to find a way through, they have found a way. Thibault has to be careful. Ramirez has picked her pocket, and Myra Ramirez is through here and scores her first WSL goal to double Chelsea's lead and put them firmly on course to return to the top of the table tonight. That's the one she's been waiting for. The Colombian now up and running in the league after nicking the ball off Julie Thibault and showing great pace as well as calmness to make the most of the mistake. Chelsea, the only team in the WSL this season yet to lose a point when they've scored first this term. Big chance in for Ritten Conried, 3-0, and that will do it for Chelsea, you feel. Johanna Ritten Conried puts clear daylight between the champions and Leicester City. Emma Hayes can surely toast returning to the top of the table now, and while it got a hefty deflection on it, I don't think there's any doubt that it's her goal. Ramirez. Oh, that's lovely. Ritten Conried, beautifully done. Oh, what a save that is. It's a gorgeous Chelsea move, and Nushkin denied by a top stop from Kopp. Brighton, side netting. Well, that's the save of the game after the move of the game from Chelsea. The goal difference could still be pivotal, considering how tight it is at the top between Manchester City and Chelsea. So they'll be looking to add to their tally here. And is this the moment? It is! How about that? Caterina Macario, after having such a long wait to make her Chelsea debut because of that awful injury, she hasn't taken long to open her account for the Blues. Minutes after her introduction, she finds the back of the net, and that's the biggest plus of the night for Chelsea. Chelsea return to the top of the WSL table in style. Emma Hayes' side were given a bit of a test by Leicester in the first half, but then showed their quality. Leicester City 0, Chelsea 4.
I thought Ramirez showed her qualities today. She held the ball up well. She scored a fantastic goal. But I think as a team, once we got a hold on the game, we went 2-0 up. I thought we controlled it completely to the end, and really, really good team performance.
I think the game changed on the second goal, because going in at half-time, it was hard for the players to understand the positives because they're emotional, they're 2-0 down, they think the game's running away from them, and it was at that point, and it allowed Chelsea to dominate the second half.
And is this the moment? It is! Caterina Macario.
I can tell the Chelsea fans this: I'm leaving you a super player, and I hope she plays a big part for the remainder of the season. But long term, Chelsea have got an absolutely world-class forward, and so do USA.
Yeah, great story there. We'll talk about Macario in a second. Dominant 4-0 win for Chelsea. Their new signings settling in well, Rachel. Let's look at that first goal then. Bjorn putting them 1-0 up.
Yeah, I think, you know, once you're watching this corner, it's a good corner in. Just Leicester really need to clear it. A better header needs to come out of that area, and they have opportunities to clear it. But Bjorn, she sneaks in there like a striker. It's a fantastic finish. So from a Chelsea point of view, they'd be really, really happy. Look at this excellent finish over the keeper's head. But from a Leicester point of view, they had plenty of chances to clear it, and you should be heading that ball off of the line. But it'd be disappointing to see it, but you know.
Yeah, I just think Leicester get bullied a bit in the box there. They're allowing, you know, Ramirez, for example, uses a physicality to just shield the defender to fight for that space, and Bjorn is first to it.
Well, let's talk about Ramirez. Emma Hayes mentioned her in her post-match interview as well. She put Chelsea 2-0 up and just showing her strength, really, wasn't she?
She's just a player that excites me, and I think, you know, a welcome addition to the WSL because she brings something different. But in this instance, it's Leicester trying to be brave. They've got their fullback high on the Chelsea back line. Centre-back Thibault has the ball here. Acres of space on the left-hand side. But this aggressive pressure from Ramirez, you'd expect the fullback to drop down and help potentially, or the centre-back release it early. But the pace and power to get away from Thibault, force the error, and the calm, controlled finish at the end just shows her composure and her class.
It is. Once she's in this area here, there's no issue she's going to score. You just see it comes into like that natural mode of her being such a cool finisher. She knows she's going to step around the keeper and just slide that ball in, and it's a great finish.
Great finish indeed. Let's talk about Macario then. On her debut, scoring Chelsea's 4th goal. Rachel, how impressive is she? And just her story as well, right? Because she's scoring on her debut after being sidelined for 20 months.
Yeah, I mean, you can't imagine being out for that long. Just coming here, the ball just is slightly behind her. Her first touch is excellent to bring it forward. You see her here just holding off. You know, in the post-match interview, I heard her say that it was Fran Kirby telling her to get into that space. This touch here is brilliant, and because she takes it early, that's what I think unsights the goalkeeper, puts Leicester off. But what a fantastic finish, and you see how much it means to her, but also her teammates, which I don't even know her, but I'm like smiling.
You're both thrilled. Anita, just very quickly on Leicester, they showed like real sort of glimmers of hope for the future.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of progress for them, actually, because they've had heavy defeats to Chelsea in the past. And, you know, again, it is quite a big defeat, but they show glimpses of bravery. They're trying to attack and
get... Yeah. They started off the game better than Chelsea. They had opportunities, didn't they?
Exactly.
Okay, wow, massive win for Chelsea, taking them level on points with Manchester City. Well, Manchester City started level on points with Chelsea. They hosted Everton, hoping to keep that pressure on. City boasted a 100% home record against the Toffees in all of their 15 previous meetings, while the visitors had failed to win away from home since early December. Commentary comes from Ben Andrews.
Well, unusual nowadays to see the same starting 11 in 3 consecutive games, but that's what Gareth Taylor has done here, and you can see why. He wouldn't want to change anything. Nothing broken, nothing to fix. Such a multi-threat attack at whose sharpest end is the division's top scorer, Bunny Shaw, with Hemp, Kelly, and so on in support. Friends reunited in the attacking departments today, actually, a pair who played so well together at Bordeaux in France. Shaw's goals there earned her the move to City, and her partner more often than not was Katja Snoys, who leads the line for Everton here. Around her just one change, and a late call by all accounts made only this morning, a real blow to Megan Finnegan, who started every match and the only Everton player to do that this season, dropping out. Lucy Hope will drop in to fill the defensive gap, and Hannah Bennison comes into the Toffees midfield instead. Heather Payne, neat and tidy on that far side. Oh no, given away here so cheaply. Bunny Shaw, it's a gift. Best goal scorer in the division. Doesn't need help. Got a whole big bit of it there, and City in front. Oh dear. Gratefully gobbled up by the league's top scorer, but she barely had to do anything for it. You've got to be good as a defence against this Manchester City team, and even then, it's often not enough. But Justine van Havermaet here, I'm afraid, has got this all wrong. Not that many visiting sides come and get much here. Everton's away form has been better than their home form. Oh, Brosnan came. It's going to be OK. It's going to be mocked up here, but that is a let-off. One of those horrible moments you imagine as a goalkeeper where you start to come and then realise you're not going to get there. Oh, it's a glove. It's a fingertip outside the box. Oh, it's a gift from Keating! And where the Van Havermaet mistake was punished at the other end, this one is not. Huge relief for City's young keeper. Cool. The chance to be looking forward, ball at feet, very rare that. Heather Payne, good cross, Piemonte! Everton's best chance. A genuine danger on the counter-attack there, the Toffees. Tough from this angle, even tougher after that touch. Did well to guide it on target. If she could have kept it down, there's a chance she beats Keating from that angle. Nice from Coombs. Hemp and Kelly have swapped, as they often will, and this is Lauren Hemp down the right for once. And she squeezed it in! I don't know how. Courtney Brosnan maybe surprised by the fact that Hemp took it on with the left foot, but either way it's 2-0. Nice give and go with Laura Coombs. She has venomous power. Lauren Hemp didn't see it there, maybe didn't need it there. It's bobbled its way into the corner. Well, 12 league goals. It's the lowest in the league, and this side need 2 unanswered ones here away at Manchester City. Although, City seem determined to give Everton chances. Decent spin, brilliant hit! Make that 13 league goals. Hannah Bennison, out of nothing, but born of a mistake. There have been 2 or 3 of them this whole game from Manchester City. 2 or 3 times in an hour that they have looked like they might concede, that's all. But it's their own fault again. Hasegawa caught out initially. Wasn't the most helpful pass, but what a finish. 2-1. Lovely way to ball that from Alexandri. And after a really good run from Park, for about the 15th time today, it's an overhit Manchester City cross. Weird. Here's Kelly. She's hit that really hard. We'll never know whether it was arcing into the corner or not, because it has clouted Van Havermaet. Blocked a lot of things today. It's a shame about the individual error on the opening goal. Although, having said that, maybe there are times you stay down. Then, well, they started this amazing run with a 7-0 win over Tottenham. They have won every game now, and this will be 12. Oh, it nearly was absolutely confirmed by Laura Coombs. That is a stunning hit, and it was absolutely destined for the top corner. Courtney Brosnan with a good save. It's still game on by the merest of margins. There's the whistle. And it is 9 league wins in a row for Manchester City. Certainly not at their recent fluid best today. I'm sure even Gareth Taylor would admit that. Manchester City have beaten Everton here by 2-1.
I'm proud that the girls stepped up and we made it a game of it. We could have, grabbed something at the end. If we had a bit more coolness, also the big one we had in the first half. But overall, they had the bigger chances and the ball the most, so it's fair enough that they win.
We probably didn't make them defend enough in the first half, so their keeper made a couple of saves, but we could have worked them a little bit more. Second half, I thought we got into good situations, scored a brilliant second goal. You're thinking from there we have the potential to go and get 3 and 4, and we get caught with one. But I like what the players did after that. I thought their response was really good. We kept continuing to play in our same way and got through again, and like I say, it could have been a different scoreline, but it's one that was enough for us today.
Could have been a different scoreline indeed, Anita. Gareth Taylor there, though, saying that he's happy with his side's mentality.
Yeah, and you know, they're a side that have had 9 consecutive league wins, 12 in all competitions. I think they've got a lot of good momentum, and you can see those relationships on the pitch firmly established, especially in the attacking lineup. I think they're a ruthless team that capitalise on mistakes from Everton as well, especially with the initial opening goal. But yeah, they've firmly got their title race underway.
Rachel, the first goal was sort of gifted to Bunny Shaw, but the second goal was a brilliant solo effort from Hemp. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like the 1-2, just the weight of the pass. It makes it really predictable for Laura Coombs where to put it. Then it's just about the bravery of the run. She's confident, Lauren Hemp. She's going forward. You know, everybody stands up of her. I think for Everton, when they probably go back and analyse it, someone's got to close down Lauren Hemp, especially as she's coming in on her left foot in that area. You know what she can do, and it's just it's a powerful but slid ball in that, you know, is fantastic shot.
But the great thing is Lauren Hemp is adding more goals to her game.
Yep.
And she's a threat when she comes into those central areas. We know what she can do in the wide areas. But as a defender, I don't want to meet Lauren Hemp when she's running at pace.
But also the fact that Chloe Kelly, Lauren Hemp, they switch wings. Yeah. You don't know what you're up against. When you get comfortable with one, then you get someone else coming, and they're effective in what they do, but obviously left foot, right foot, they're very different.
Well, Everton did pull one back through Hannah Bennison. What a goal this was, Anita. Talk us through this.
Yeah, it's an incredible goal, and it's kept alive initially by Cool inside the box. You know, she's twisting and turning, trying to find the right option, and finds Bennison on the edge of the box with lovely swivel of the hips, touch out of her feet, bang, hits, you know, the ricochets off the crossbar there. But yeah, I've worked with Bennison as a youngster, you know, when she played with me in Sweden, and she has this in her locker, the trickery, the innovation and creativity to just make something happen out of nothing.
Definitely. I don't think the WSL has seen the best of her. She's good, but I think there's so much more to come.
Still time for that, Rachel. Still time for that. And do you think City were a bit unfortunate in some of the referee decisions today?
I definitely think this one was definitely a free kick. She's outside the area, it hits her hand. I'm surprised that nobody from City really appealed for it, but you know, it hits her hand, and that's the reason why it's gone off target. So I think that's a free kick, possibly a card of some sort. This one, I don't think it's a penalty. This is where we differ. I think this is very close distance. As Chloe Kelly comes inside the shot, we all know the power of Chloe Kelly's shot. I think there, surely you've got every reason to put your hands up.
We've been to-ing and fro-ing over this, and for me, I think Van Havermaet sees the ball coming directly towards her face, and a natural reaction is to get her hands up, and then realises she's in the box, I've made contact, I've got to potentially make it look like it's hit me, and goes down. So it could easily be a penalty shot for me.
This is why it's good to have a striker and a defender in the studio, right? Now time for a crucial tie at the bottom of the table. Bristol City look for their first win since the beginning of November against second from bottom Brighton. Chris Legg, watch this one.
And in comes the corner, and it's headed down by Bergvand and tapped in by Turnand. Elizabeth Turnand is never going to miss from there. She can score in all sorts of ways and from anywhere, and she gobbles up that tap in. A fine header down by Bergvand. Brighton with another throw in deep into Bristol City territory. Low turn and cross comes in, and it's off the post and bundled in at the second attempt by Bremer. Brighton have dealt Bristol City a double blow, 2 goals in the space of 4 minutes. Paulina Bremer did so well to get the first shot away, and as it came back off the base of that post, she sprung forward and hit the rebound into the back of the net. Perfect distance to try and dink it over that wall and bring it back down. Connolly does that, and she hits it with real venom into the back of the net. Megan Connolly, she drove that with such power just beneath the bar. Punched away just by Clark to the feet of Bremer and knocked back in. Deflects off a City head into the danger zone, and Turnand smashes it home. Again, she is exactly the player you want that sort of opportunity to fall to. The minute it found itself at Elizabeth Turland's boot, you knew its next destination was the back of that Bristol City net. Here's another chance for Turland to try and get that first hat-trick in the WSL. A fine save. Perfect run from the Norway forward, and you would have backed her to score. Oh, and from the corner, Tatiana Pinto has directed it into the back of the net. So Turland missing the opportunity, but from the corner, Tatiana Pinto has given Brighton a 4-1 lead. Morgan goes deep towards the far post, is headed into the back of the net. Brooke Aspen has given Bristol City renewed hope. Well, if City could get another here, Ffion Morgan pulls it across the area and is swept into the back of the net. Amelie Testrup, what a turnaround this is. 2 goals for Bristol City in the space of 60 seconds of playing time. City just went straight down that end again, and Ffion Morgan sets up Amelie Testrup for her 9th WSL goal of the season. Robinson with the lovely crossing towards Haley, and that is a really neat finish. Great work too from Robinson. And Madison Haley, the 25-year-old American, swept it home from close range. Robinson tries to take it beyond Connolly, and there was a challenge there. Is it a fair challenge? No, it's a penalty, says the referee. And Brighton are going to get the opportunity to go 6-3 up. Vicky Lasada now slots it home with the coolest of composure. Bristol City 3, Brighton 6. Brighton through again. Robinson with the 7th of the afternoon for Brighton. Katie Robinson against her former club. Well, what an end to the game she's had. Weighing in with an assist, and then also getting Brighton's 7th goal of the afternoon.
I think the overall feeling right now is really frustrated, quite angry, and we have to find a way to get something in the last few games now.
Anyone that came to the game today would have enjoyed it. Obviously 10 goals, a great advert for women's football in my opinion. Lots of fans here, great atmosphere. So yeah, we're delighted to come away with the 3 points and 7 goals.
A 10-goal thriller at the bottom of the table. Anita, do you think the scoreline probably looks worse for Bristol City?
Yeah, definitely. I share the same sentiments as Lauren Smith there. I think the scoreline doesn't really reflect the performance. I thought they gave a good account of themselves for a large part of the game, and they fought back on several moments to try and give themselves a chance. It was a game they had to really go after and try and get those 3 points. So at times they left a lot of space, but a lot of credit also has to go to Brighton, who were ruthless in those moments, caused havoc down those channels. And you know, Katie Robinson, I think, was a menace and caused a lot of havoc, but they were clinical in the moments that mattered.
Rachel, it is worrying times for Bristol, isn't it? Because they've got 7 games remaining. 6 of those games are against the top 6.
Yeah, I think that's why today's game was so important, and they had to go for it, and that's probably why the scoreline ended up being as large as it was, because they were opened up. And I think, yeah, it is a worrying time when you've got to play against the top teams, but this is a time that you've got to show character. They've got a young team. If they stick together, show some character, you never know what might happen.
Anita, you know Bristol City really well. Is there any hope there for them? Do you think they could stay up?
Yeah, I agree with Rachel. I believe that, you know, I've been in a relegation battle before. It's tough, but if they stick together and they believe and they keep sticking to their principles and improve on those areas that, you know, they fell short on, there's always a hope and a chance.
There is indeed. Let's round up the remaining fixtures then, starting with Liverpool's trip to Aston Villa. Emma Jones brings us the best of the action.
This was only the second time Aston Villa had hosted Liverpool in the Barclays WSL, the first meeting having ended in a 3-3 draw last season. A cautious opening was broken in the 19th minute when Grace Fisk's deflected shot wrong-footed Daphne van Domselaar. Villa responded well after going behind, but found themselves 2 goals down on the half-hour mark. Sophie Roman-Haug in the right place after van Domselaar palmed Jasmine Matthews' cross into her path. The hosts had an excellent opportunity to get back into the game when Kirsty Hansen was brought down by Gemma Bonner. Sarah Mayling made no mistake from the spot to half the deficit on her 100th Barclays WSL appearance. Liverpool restored their 2-goal cushion when Matthews' superb ball to the back post was deftly finished by Emma Koivisto on the hour mark. The Finland international scored her second and Liverpool's fourth when she looped a header over van Domselaar to secure Matt Beard's side back-to-back Barclays WSL wins for the first time since October.
I thought we played some good stuff, but we mixed our game up today. Really pleased with the goals. Thought Emma Koivisto was excellent today. Mia Enderby was excellent. Fahy was excellent, but collectively it was a great team performance.
Manchester United had won their last 4 meetings with West Ham in the Barclays WSL without conceding and went ahead after just 4 minutes on Sunday. Rachel Williams with the finish after the hosts were punished for attempting to play out from the back. Williams went close to scoring a second on the stroke of half-time, but Mackenzie Arnold made a fine save. West Ham were much improved after the break, but it took until the 85th minute before they equalised. Viviane Assaye with the sublime lofted finish over Mary Earps. The visitors then had a glorious chance to win it when Arnold's kick struck Williams, but the United forward shot wide of an empty net. A dent in Manchester United's hopes of qualifying for the Champions League, but a vital point for Rhian Skinner's West Ham.
Thought we were a little bit tentative in the first half, but spoke a lot about the press at half-time. I thought the players were absolutely outstanding second half and fully deserved to get something from the game.
A late point then for West Ham against United. What a way to seal it as well.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic in the end. You know, the second half, I thought they had the better of the game. Assaye came alive. She gave a couple warning shots when she, you know, was getting strikes off in and around the edge of the box, but they gave a really good account of themselves.
Highlight for United there is that Rachel Williams is now the 10th player to score 50 goals in the WSL, which is pretty good going for someone that usually comes off the bench, right, Rachel?
No, definitely fantastic. I think that was a strong point for Man United, is that you've got players like that obviously are not playing international football at this moment in time when other players are tired and you need someone to come on and start, and she's done well. She's done fantastically well. I think probably because she hasn't started many games, the final minute miss is probably a lack of game time, because I was so shocked at the way she missed that, and I'm sure she'll be thinking about that. I know that she's got very high standards of herself, but I think the goal that she scored was fantastic, and her whole round play was really good.
Now, Anita, United are 9 points off those Champions League spots. Mathematically possible. Do you think they can do it?
I think it's going to be tough for them, in all honesty. I look around that team and I think, in comparison to the two they're chasing, these are the games that they have to win. And they weren't able to find that cutting edge today, you know, and that would put a bit more pressure on Man City and Arsenal and Chelsea as well.
And also Liverpool are creeping up behind them as well.
Level on points with Liverpool. Yeah. So Liverpool's added pressure to their campaign.
Well, Rachel, I was going to ask you about Liverpool, so I'm glad you brought them up. They're level on points with Manchester United. What did you make of them against Villa?
Yeah, I think, you know, Villa are kind of a team that's up and down, but to come away with that big result, I think that's a huge result for Liverpool. And Liverpool kind of gone under the radar this season. Not many people are really talking about them, but I think for them it's just getting consistency, and next season I think they'll get stronger and stronger.
And they're a team that have actually got results against some of the bigger teams. You know, they got a result against Arsenal opening season and Man United.
OK, well, here's how the Barclays Women's Super League table looks. At the end of match week 15, Chelsea and Manchester City remain level on points, with Chelsea ahead on goal difference. Arsenal are 3 points behind in third. Manchester United and Liverpool are tied on 25, 9 away from those Champions League places. Brighton's win takes them up to 9th, and Bristol City are bottom, 6 points from West Ham in safety. In the Barclays Women's Championship, Lewes started the weekend bottom of the table. They welcomed Sheffield United to the dripping pan. Maria Figueroa was the match winner for the Rooks. Her 2 goals earned Lewes a vital third win of the season to keep their hopes of avoiding relegation alive. Elsewhere, Sunderland grabbed their 10th win of the season against fellow promotion hopeful Southampton. 2 second-half goals for London City Lionesses earned them a win away at Reading, and nothing could separate Blackburn Rovers and Durham. Watford, Charlton and Crystal Palace against Birmingham City were postponed due to waterlogged pitches. And that means that Sunderland remain top of the table, 4 points from the chasing pack. Crystal Palace, Charlton and Birmingham City have 2 games in hand over the top 5. Lewes are now 1 point above Watford, but still 2 points from safety. Coming up on the BBC then, Arsenal take on Aston Villa for a place in the Conti Cup final. Catch that on iPlayer on Wednesday from 7 p.m. Women's Football Weekly is also available on Sounds now. A new podcast with Ben Haynes and England's women record goal scorer Ellen White, as they're joined by current WSL players to discuss the latest news across the domestic and international leagues. And are you ready for what's available on iPlayer right now?
16 superhuman gladiators are ready to do battle against everyday people. In a series of brutal events, will anyone be up to the challenge? What an epic eliminator! Brand new Gladiators. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
I don't think we're ready for that. Thank you so much, Anita. Thank you, Rachel. The WSL title race is set up nicely, isn't it? We'll see you soon.
The latest weekend of league action kicks off. This is Lauren Hemp down the right for once. And she squeezed it in.
Alessia Russo finishes it off.
Isn't that just like the champions to somehow find a way through to return to the top of the table tonight?